take long to realize that there's a reason there's that expression. No matter how good looking she is, somebody somewhere is totally
Well,
sick
it's
of
not
her
that.
shit.
The sad thing about this is that you look at them, and the terrible thing is that if it just wasn't for one mistake, they wouldn't have as many problems as they did. This would be a perfect relationship that would probably be one of those dream come true relationships. They would be telling their parents, their kids and their grandkids, this is how I'm your mom met with each other.
Maybe.
Yeah, until the parallel universe version of this film where they stay together and then it turns out she's a psycho killer.
Well, it's not even as dramatic as that, because you're right. That first mistake sets it off. But along the way, a lot of the strain that happens is that they are young, especially her, and don't have a sense of time. It's like being told, okay, you got to wait 6 to 9 months. They can't do it. Or the idea like, okay, they get married. They go ahead and go through with it. Mm-hmm. But still, immigration is like, yes, so what? She's still fucked up on the visa. That's got to get straightened before she can go back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that chemical rush only lasts a year, and when you don't even see them,
that's okay. Now imagine you've done this. Like, okay, they told you, sorry, your wife has to stay over here until that gets worked out. You got to go back home. And sorry, you're an adult.
Arguably.
In some ways. If you got to wait 6 months, 9 months, maybe even a year, but eventually she will be back and you're going to be talking, you can probably do it. You've done things. You've lived life. Now, when you're a young guy and you got Jennifer Lawrence rubbing up against you, it might be kind of hard to be faithful to your wife at that point.
Well, how does the movie fare as far, because I feel like I'm a love line right now trying to figure out, like, okay, I understand the reality of it, but is it entertaining to watch as a movie to see them go through this, or is it frustrating? Do they put it
it's both,
in a good light?
No, it's completely both. It's a small movie, a little mumblecore-ish, but
whoa. Mumblecore-ish? As in what? There's parts where it just drags on?
Part of the realities of this movie is that it's very bare bones. And I've been mentioning a lot of movies doing this lately. There's not a whole lot of music interruptions. It's just the camera and this couple, maybe some surrounding players that come into the picture every now and then, parents, friends. But you mostly are watching this relationship. And that's what I'm saying. It's it's entertaining at first because you're completely drawn in. Anybody who's ever been in love or has been in a relationship that just took them by surprise and it worked, and even better if they are still together, they're gonna love watching this. And then it's gonna hurt even more when you see the realities of life start to play into it. So it's a tragedy, but it's enjoyable in watching that reality play out. We've seen love like play out in the movie world so perfectly all the time. Right. As hard as it is to watch two people grow apart, it's still refreshing to see an honest look at love, even if it's not perfect.
Now, I will say, when I got out of the movie, I stood by and listened to reactions, and they were mixed, completely mixed all over the place. Some people loved it. They were like, wow, that really touched me. Other people were like, oh, that was lazy. Or like, I liked it better when it was Blue Valentine. It's not Blue Valentine.
Oh, hell no.
Blue Valentine makes you want to kill yourself.
You liked it better when it was Blue Valentine.
Blue Valentine is a movie where you saw a man's nuts get cut off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean that metaphorically. It's just and this movie is not like that. I liked it a lot because what you have here, it's a complex relationship, and you got to have two talented people play it out. And Anton Yelchin and Felicity Jones, is that her name?
Yeah, Felicity Jones.
Here's the deal. Part of that tragedy of their relationship is also part of them maturing. And so you have people who have to be pretty much just lovesick kids. You have to see them become adults by the end of the film. It's not so tragic when you see them being taught a life lesson and probably getting the bad parts of the life done early. I saw them as lucky myself, Yeah. But you have to have two actors who are able to do that. They got to be kids. They got to be adults by the end of the film.
I wonder if from a younger viewer, it's more of a tragedy because you're like, oh, you didn't watch this love that was so perfect worked out. And from an older version, it's not at all. You're like, well, I've gone through that. I know what that's like a couple times now. And you're like, all right, so that's an important life lesson.
Yeah.
Watch these guys go through this and come out through the other side without, killing themselves or something totally tragic happening.
A lot I have to say to the actors, to give the two of them credit for, is the palpable chemistry that they had. And even when you get frustrated with them where they aren't being true to each other, or you're like, this is over, these two people are just so drawn to each other that even after they go through a bunch of shit, it calms down and it's still like, I still want to be with you. And it's just like, wow, it's almost like you start to lose it and they pull you right back into it.
And you believe in their relationship?
Yeah. And I tell you, I don't know how you felt about this, but I thought the last shot of the movie was one of those where you go, huh. Like, I think everybody might interpret that differently.
You know what? I tell you how I interpret that. I don't remember it.
I had to go take a piss. It's time, the credits roll up.
It's been a while.
That means the movie's over.
The last shot, it depends on how big of a cynic or romantic.
Like the way you asking me now, it's like, hey man, it's very positive. The way that cat rode off into the sunset wearing those boots and riding off that other cat, yeah, that was great, man. No, it's the director here is Drake Dorm. I'm looking at his name right here, Dormus, and you know, I have to say that this is that kind of movie where when you direct what you know and probably what is really heartfelt for you, and you can put that out there for people to see. Sometimes I think that makes the best art. You know, makes great songs, makes great books, makes great movies. And I thought that this guy's personal tragedy, the road to therapy that he took by making this film, was very well played out and honestly played out on the screen. And I like that honesty. I appreciate that honesty, and I love the movie for that. I love seeing people.
You get to enjoy watching somebody else fuck.
I was about to say I love seeing people's lives get fucked up. Makes me happy.
Dumbass.
Yeah. Better, as you said, better you than me. Fuck them.
That's their story. Ain't my story.
Guys, I feel like I'm staring into the heart of evil.
You are.
You've been living in it, brother.
Didn't realize I was at the top of that tower in Mordor this whole time.
Just now realizing this.
I was the one at Sundance and they almost kicked out because the people sitting next to me like, hey, look at those dumbasses on the screen right there. Idiots.
You're pulling a Robert De Niro and Cape Fear.
Hey, a good thing this ain't this. What you mean, shut up? But no, I give it a full price.
I give it more of a matinee. And
What?
The thing is, it's a small movie. I mean, I would almost give it a rental, and is that it's a small movie that's almost better watched at home, but because of the quality of it, I'm giving it a matinee. That's just how it works out that way. But you know, it's not a whole lot to it. It's hard for me to say, like, dudes, you got to see this movie. But it's like, dudes, if you saw this movie, you would enjoy it.
Fair enough.
All right.
That's fascinating.
No, I'm
very
Are you
excited.
coming to me and say, dudes, where's my movie?
I don't know if it's you, but didn't it seem like it was just like 3 years ago that Anton Yelchin was like a little kid, and now he's got a big a lantern jaw. He's losing his hair. He's like a 40-year-old man over the course of 2 or 3 years.
Antoine Yelkin went from being like a little kid as far as Star Trek to being almost goddamn Frankenstein. You know, it's like, you know, it's the kind of guy where you he has those curly locks on his head. You just want to like put your hand in and rub him like, kid.
Yeah.
And then you turn around.
Thanks, mister, for the dime.
Yeah. And then you turn your head, you turn back around like, kid. Oh, shit. Don't touch me. Yes, sir.
And you look at your hand and like, oh, Anton's shedding again.